In the following video, you're going to see me taking a logo design brief from Brian. Now, I do this by having a series of questions, and they're usually fairly standard series of questions, and they'll include things like what does your company do, what sort of logos do you like, and also sort of what other companies give the sort of right sort of feel, what other company logos give the right sort of feel for what you're looking for. It's quite a long video, so I've also included along with it a download of the questionnaire and also a brief outline of the sort of answers that Brian gave. So if you want to skip over some of it, you're quite welcome to. Hi Brian, thank you for agreeing to help me out with the logo project. Um, I wonder if you'd mind telling me a little bit about the company name that you want to use on the logo design.
Sure. So actually, this is quite interesting because what I originally wanted to go with, Tara, was the name Business Improvement Network. But then shortly after that, I then realized that this name already exists and there is a website with that particular domain. So I've had to quickly shelve that. But fortunately, I've come up with something that is equally good in terms of describing what I want to do. So I'm going to call this the Continuous Improvement Network.
Let me just jot that down.
Yeah.
Network. Okay, and are you going to have a strap line or anything that goes with that?
Yeah, I'm currently interested because the whole idea of this is like crowdsourcing of business improvement ideas through a community. So the strap line that I'd like to use is crowdsourced continuous improvement.
And is that going to sit with the logo? Is it always going to sit with the logo, or is that going to be separate?
That's a good question. I would like the flexibility to switch it on and off as seen fit.
Okay, so perhaps you can tell me a little bit. You just mentioned it's going to be crowdsourcing business improvement. Can you just explain a little bit about that?
Sure. So the Continuous Improvement Network is a community, an online community of business professionals who are all working in fields or doing projects that relate to business improvement. So, in essence, what it is this is a platform where these professionals get together and share ideas, discuss case studies, and ask any questions that they may have relating to the business improvement techniques and methodologies. And the way that is done is through a collaborative kind of platform, which is online.
So the collaboration, is that going to be with the other? I take it they're almost like business coaches. Business, is that? Would you call them?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would call them business coaches. So this would be like a community of business coaches who bounce ideas off each other.
Right. So the other people who are inputting ideas are also business coaches. You're not putting it out to the public. It's just the actual people within that community.
Exactly. It's an exclusive community for business coaches. That's a good way to put it. Yes.
Okay. So can you give me some words that would describe like the qualities of the company? I mean, I've
Yeah.
put as examples like, friendly, reliable, quick, exclusive. I mean, you mentioned exclusive, so
Exactly. Exclusive, collaborative. I don't know if that will
yeah.
fit. Social. Um, it's quick. I think is very relevant because this is the whole essence of it. It's getting speedy and timely responses to answers. I mean, to questions and to ideas. So
Can I just go
those will be
back?
some of them.
Can I just go back on something? We were talking about collaboration. Is it almost going to be like a forum type?
It's it's very similar to a
Yeah.
forum type, yeah. But this is a it's more of an enhanced forum in that forums typically, only allow you to maybe input your content in the form of text predominantly, whereas this particular platform that we will use for this business is it allows all forms of content, so you can um, collaborate and share content that is in video format, in audio format, a presentation, an Excel sheet, or a Word document. It really doesn't matter. And it's all available in real time It's all available online as long as you are logged in. So you could use your PC, your laptop, or your iPad or iPhone. As long as you're web enabled, you can access the information.
Cool. So who are your competitors in the area at the moment?
It's a very good question. We kind of look at ourselves as it's a niche area, niche product, but competitors would be the one that I mentioned initially, which is Business Improvement Network. They have something similar to that, but also other competitors who are offering free advice on the internet would be places like Wikipedia. Could be something that we're competing with if they are sharing the same kind of topics that we are also discussing. But we would then look at our USP as that we are more exclusive, and as such we're able to share a lot more details which may not necessarily make their way into public spaces.
So when you say you're more exclusive, are you going to limit the numbers within there at any one time?
It's not so much limiting by the number, it's more limiting by the kind of prerequisite and credentials
Right.
before you are allowed to contribute. You can join the community at different levels, but to be able to author and comment on topics, there's certain prerequisite criteria you have to have fulfilled.
What sort of look and feel is required? Is it contemporary, traditional, minimal, corporate?
What I really wanted is something that is minimalist and professional, so not too busy. Just something that is easy on the eyes as well.
Okay, so keep it simple.
Keep it simple. That exactly. Minimalist kind of style.
Sure. So, can you compare it to any other personality of any other companies? Probably throw
I
you
would
here.
say, yeah, well, in terms of the simplicity that I kind of like, although this one is just an example purely on the logo that they have, is the business called PayPal. I just like the simplicity of that. Is just, pay, I think, is in a slightly different shade of blue to the PAL. And that's basically it. There's no other. I really like that one. There's one I particularly like as well. It's called Exploring Social Media. This is a community very similar to the one that we're putting together as well. So they've just got another, very simplistic look and feel to their network.
Okay, I'll look that one up.
Sure.
So, do you have any definite ideas about the logo design? And I'm going to come back to this one again. Any examples of logo design you like or dislike?
So, firstly, ideas. I do have some ideas that I was just hoping to explore a little bit further. The first one is, because of what we are setting up, this is basically a community or a network. I would like that, if possible, to be illustrated as part and parcel of the image or the logo itself. So some kind of networking or connecting people together. The other one that I would also want to have featured is the fact that we are a community or a network about improvement. So demonstration of something that is showing an improvement, whether these are incremental steps or an arrow going up or something like that. But those are the two ideas I really think would capture, in essence, what we're all about. Yeah, an improvement network of professionals.
So, do you have any examples? I mean, you mentioned PayPal before.
Yeah,
Do you have any
PayPal.
other examples of logos that you like or dislike?
Yeah, so PayPal is a good one that I like. There is also another one that is quite. I like it for the fact that they just use two colors on it, and it's kind of like memorable as well. It's from a website called Bolt. So it's actually bo.lt, and that's basically their full name. I like the simplicity of the logo. It looks like you definitely see the bolt, or lightning bolt, but they use like the head of an elephant as like their logo, and that's kind of very memorable. You remember it all the time, and everywhere you see it, you kind of associate it. This is definitely bold. This is bold. So I like that one quite a lot. Just trying to think. I also like, there's a website called it's a job board website. It's called Monster.
Oh, yeah.
Monster. Yeah, I like the font that they use there. It's just, it's just so characteristic, that font. It's just one color. I think it's a purple that they use. I like the simplicity of that one. Just trying to think of another example. Yeah, so I think those three, yeah, the PayPal, the Bolt, and the last one I just mentioned.
The Monster.
The Monster, sorry, yeah, the Monster. Those three kind of jump at me. I like them. And another one, by the way, which is I see it every day because I use it every day, is Skype.
Oh, yeah.
I like their logo.
Yeah.
I like their logo. It's memorable. It's even what I like about the Skype one is, even if they just use the S part of it, you can still recognize that it's Skype.
Yeah.
They either use the S in their little bubble or something like that. You can see straight away that it's Skype, and I like that immediate association with that brand.
So have you got any specific color preferences?
Well, yeah, that's a that's a bit of a tough one. So, ideally I wanted to stick with a two-color scheme. This could be two shades of the same color, and I've explored a couple of colors which I felt I want to see how they look and feel. One of them is kind of like a new color you see with a few Web 2.0 properties. It's kind of like a green, a lime green, or trying to give you a good example of that one. But it's like a greenish, a green shade to it, and then it's normally used with black and green. I also looked at black and kind of like an orange. Those two.
Okay.
Want to see how those would feel. But to be honest, I'm still pretty open to see combinations that will either just jump at me and yeah. So
Sure.
there's really no that door is still very wide open, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who is your target audience? Now, you mentioned that they're business coaches.
Yeah.
Is there an age? Is there a typical gender or anything for these people?
Yeah, that's
Men.
that's a good question. Yeah, it's actually interesting because I did a survey with the kind of target audience that I'm targeting for this, and what happened is I sent out a survey which was asking for levels of interest and levels of commitment, and that was very important to find out whether this is going to be a flyer or not. And the information I got back was very interesting. Before I sent it out, I imagined that it would be predominantly male who would be more interested, but the results were actually the opposite.
Oh, really?
So actually, yes, they were. I was actually pleasantly surprised. So I found more women were more interested in taking it up by almost a 60-40 ratio. So that was an interesting
Yeah.
shock, if you like.
Yeah.
I like you as well. I also imagined it would be male predominantly,
Yeah.
but I mean the survey results indicate that. Although it was quite a small sample, but it's still, I think, reflective. So either going with that 60-40 or even a 50-50. So I think it's going to be quite gender neutral.
Yeah.
To be honest, yeah.
Is there an age or anything of the a general age?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So typically, if you look at the kind of business improvement professionals who are out there in their careers, these are people who have gone beyond a graduate scheme. So they are kind of like 5 years post their first degree or first 5 years of work, and then they get into this kind of role. So typically you're looking from the late 20s, 28, 29s, going all the way through to the mid 50s. That's kind of like the range, with a lot of them being maybe in the middle of that range. So from
Okay.
in the 40s range, that kind of typifies the age group.
So I didn't put this in my questionnaire, so I might stump you here, but do you know what sort of, are there any mainstream magazines or business magazines that these people would be likely to read?
Yeah, it's a very good question. There are some definitely business magazines that are relating to this field, and the two I can quote that we tend to read a lot is The Economist and the FT.
Okay.
So those two are kind of like generic, but there are also industry specific. Let's say some of them are online materials, blogs. I'll have to look them up. I can send you
That'd be great.
short
Yeah.
list. Yeah. Okay.
It just gives me an idea for the feel of the type of graphics that might appeal to these people.
Oh yeah, exactly. The very good one is actually where I get a lot of my traffic from. It's called the Management Help Library, managementhelp.com. I think that's what it is.
Management help.
Management Help.
Great.
It's a very popular source of free management resources, and a lot of my traffic come from that one. So that's a very good example.
Okay. Fantastic.
And I think I like their logo as well.
I'll add that to the list then. Great. Now, I think I mentioned this before, so we're going to go for a two-colour logo, just looking at my list of questions.
Yeah.
So how will the logo be used? I know obviously it's going to be used on the website you're setting up. Is it going to be printed as well, or is it going to just be totally online?
It's going to be predominantly online, and predominantly on the website itself. But we also want to use elements of that logo, or even in its entirety, for our social media icons, if you like.
Oh, okay.
So, the YouTube channel, the Facebook page, and the Twitter images should relate to the logo. Just to use the Skype example, it could be just we use the S part of it. Or
Yeah,
we use
got
an
you.
acronym.
An element, or even an icon if we produce an icon.
Exactly.
Excuse me.
That's right. Basically.
Any other information you would like to add?
So I think, I think it goes without saying that what we're really looking for is something that is going to stand the test of time, as it were. Really, something that when we start using that logo, we want to immediately be associated with networking. We want to be associated with improvement in business, and we want to come across as a bunch of professionals who are serious about what they do and who are passionate about making improvements in business.
Great, thank you very much.
You're most welcome.